Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today will be an explosive video today, and I find it very fitting because we will be talking about the character from My Hero Academia, Katsuki Bakugo, the loud and brash rival to the main character, Izuku Midoriya, or as Bakugo would call him, Deku. With his quirk and his very intense personality, Bakugo tears through anyone with arrogance and competence, especially when it comes to being a hero. He is determined that he will be the one to get the job done and call you a loser while you're doing it. Man, this kid sounds like a jerk. But there is more to him than that, and we'll discuss that in time. So let's go ahead and take a look at his history and his origins. Katsuki Bakugo was born in Japan and grew up in the same neighborhood as Izuku Midoriya, the protagonist of the series. From a young age, Bakugo was praised for his impressive quirk, known as Explosion, which allowed him to ignite his nitroglycerin-like sweat from his palms to create powerful blasts. Because he manifested such a strong and flashy ability early, society and those around him often reinforced the idea that he was naturally designed for greatness. That constant praise, combined with his competitive personality, shaped Bakugo into a confident, prideful, and sometimes arrogant child. Alongside Midoriya, the relationship was strained when Bakugo learned that Midoriya was quirkless. He began to look down on him, believing that someone without power had no place for heroism. Bakugo's superiority complex through childhood, making him see Midoriya's attempts to help or offer friendship as pity or disrespect. The dynamic became an important foundation for both characters' personal growth and rivalry later in the story. Bakugo's ambitions became clear early on. He wanted to attend UA High School, the top hero academy, and become the #1 hero, surpassing even All Might. His acceptance into UA was a major milestone, but also a start of challenges that forced him to confront his own flaws. From the entrance exam onward, Bakugo began to realize that he was not automatically the strongest, and he had to compete with the high, capable classmates, including Midoriya, who suddenly gained a powerful quirk and began rising in ability and confidence. Throughout his time at UA, Bakugo faced several emotional turning points. One of the biggest ones was the guilt he carried when he believed he contributed to All Might losing his power after Bakugo was kidnapped by the League of Villains. The event made him confront the reality of what it means to be a hero. Not just strength, but responsibility. His rival Midoriya would also evolve him as he began to recognize not only his rival's strength and resolve, but turning their dynamic into a more mutual competition rather than a one-sided hostility. Over the course of the series, Bakugo's character development became one of the most praised arcs in My Hero Academia. He looked past his ego, acknowledges his weaknesses, and began respecting others as his equals in his own way, while remaining fiery and loud and competitive. His motivations are mature. He no longer seeks victory just to prove himself superior. He fights to protect people and become a hero worthy of admiration. Bakugo's journey from gifted, arrogant child to be humbled, determined future hero gives depth to his origins and makes him one of the most standout characters of the series. Now we're at the part of the video where we usually talk about my personal thoughts and opinions of the character that we're discussing. And the first question we always got to ask is, how was I introduced to the character? So, to be honest, I didn't really hop on to the My Hero train when it first came out. To be honest, I was more so annoyed. I heard about it when I was 17, and I'm like, okay, great. There's a whole other, anime where it's like, it's in the protagonist's eyes that's like, oh, he's a weak, pathetic protagonist. And like, to be honest, I did not like Deku at all at first. And then to see this, and when I say this, don't get mad when I say this, but I thought he was literally just a caricature of Vegeta with blonde hair and an explosion power. Like, over-exaggerated, angry, arrogant, really brash for no reason, and who was a teenager. And I couldn't get quite behind it yet. And this is also before the time where I really got into other anime. I was really mainly into, like, probably Dragon Ball. Wasn't even into One Piece yet. I got into JoJo for a little bit. JoJo's that's a whole can of worms to get into, but I think mainly those were the ones that I mainly played. I also just watched, but I also at the time was getting into Street Fighter and played TF2 at one point a lot, and just a mix of different things. I'm gonna adjust my hat real quick. It feels like there's like pressure on my hat. And so I saw clips on YouTube of the characters. I'm like, okay, this is like, so the protagonist of the series is just like a geek, an annoying geek, and his rival is a absolute dumpster fire of a character, and I couldn't really get behind that yet. And so I'm thinking in the back of my head, okay, I might as well at least give it a shot. I watched the first episode, and I'm like, kind of unimpressed at first, but with Bakugo, because it's like we get introduced to Midoriya, we get of course introduced to All Might at the beginning of the series through that clip that the kid Izuku's looking at, and then also get introduced later on to Bakugo, and I'm like, man, who is this kid? Somebody come get this kid before he gets beat. You know what I mean? Like, if this kind of guy existed, which there are, I have no doubt he would get himself beat up by this generation. I'm sorry, no matter how much you want to think we're weak and pathetic, they would flame this dude, not only on the internet, but in real life. They would be like, okay, calm down, boy. And so I couldn't really get with the character yet. I didn't really understand him. I don't know why he was acting that way. And so, after watching the first episode, I'm like, okay, I kind of like Deku now. Like, I got introduced to a little bit more of Deku, and I'm like, okay, I could kind of see myself in him, because I was a very similar kid. I kept quiet and kept to myself and didn't really talk to too many people and like things not a lot of people enjoyed. And so eventually, as I just went on and watched more of the series, I think all the way past season 1, I'm like, okay, Bakugo doesn't seem to be getting any more enjoyable. He's still very insufferable. He's still very annoying. And this kid just doesn't shut up. Like, oh, I'm supposed to be better. You extras, get out of the way. And I'm like, great. And I'm going to mix it up a bit. And I'm going to answer the third question on this. Like, what do I not enjoy about the character as I'm talking? And the things that I did not enjoy is just the over-excessive arrogance. And it was done on purpose, but it just got grating after a while. You think, after losing And which he kind of does. He has this introspective thing happen, but he kind of throws a baby fit and basically almost quits the school because his childhood, I guess you would call him friend, is beating him at what he's supposedly supposed to be superior at. And I'm like, good lord, kid, get over yourself. Stop throwing a baby fit. And the fact that All Might had to get in the way of him doing that, of him leaving and trying to encourage him, and he just kind of rejects it, like, shut up, I'll even be better than you, and then blah, 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 blah. And it's like, at the time, I didn't really understand how an arrogant person worked. And I never really thought of, like, okay, I couldn't really see that. But as I got older and as I went past high school, and I gave the series another chance to rewatch season 1 with a new perspective on how those kind of people work, and I realized, oh, I didn't even realize it. Like, this is the way he grew up. Like, people were telling him, like, oh, you had this amazing ability, you have this, and this, and then on top of having the practicalness from his mom and the arrogance build up within him and the pride build up within him, it makes too much sense. This is why he's acting like that. This is why he's lashing out. And so being in a place where he's being pressured, being from a place from not being pressured to being pressured changes him. Like, everybody else is just as capable or even more so than Bakugo in this situation, which makes it interesting. And more of that brashness and anger and arrogance gets pulled out. And I mean, oh my gosh. Like, he's a capable dude. And and like I said, when it comes to arrogant characters, it can be too much. He doesn't get to that point like Vegeta does. Like, Vegeta, for me, is not very unbearable when it comes to his arrogance, because it's like he always has those moments where he's always getting humbled more often, but he's still up and like, okay, fine, I'm gonna go learn. And it feels like at first you don't really see that, but it's actually kind of subtle. He starts, and a lot of his change doesn't happen until, I believe, season 2, when he did I forgot what it's called, but it's the arc where it's basically a tournament-based arc where all the students get to show off their abilities and stuff like that, and a lot of what season 1 sets up is it's like, okay, there is a rivalry between the main character and the rival character, but there's also some other characters that are set up there, and like his interactions with Shoto, of course. Shoto he's an interesting character. Like, no offense, I think he's an okay character. I found him to be kind of boring, to be honest, at first. And he got a little bit better throughout time, but I just don't find anything too special about him. Besides his quirk, which is neat. It's a neat idea. Bakugo's nickname is Icy Hot. Like, gosh, that's actually funny. And it just... Anyway. And other things that I kind of just genuinely don't like about early Bakugo is just where he just gets more and more abrasive. But I believe that's on purpose. And then later Bakugo, he still kind of has that, and it's played up a little bit too much to where he's like, oh, you're not my friend, or blah, 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 blah. And I know it's played as a joke, but personally for me, that's just like, it's kind of dumb at this point. Like, bro, just shut up. We know you're... And they even say, like, bro, we know you actually like us. Stop pretending, you know? And that's the other thing. It's just slight little nitpicks at this point. And it's hard to really find... With the characters that I previously covered, it's like, it's very hard to find certain things, because it's like, these are enjoyable characters, like... Or... And I'm not trying to just not act like I don't care. It's more like, okay, I've experienced them on my own, and I'm trying to figure out, like, besides the, oh, I'm not your friend jokes, or all the interactions he has, it's just it gets harder for me to really want to find anything that's like not enjoyable about the character. It's just mainly his abrasive attitude I just don't like. But what I do enjoy, and we'll go ahead and go to the next question that I skipped earlier, is I like how he starts to smoothen out little by little, because in reality a lot of these people don't go into a smoother road. It takes time. When it comes to Bakugo's story arc, he's slowly, like, you start seeing more and more aspects of himself that's actually very admirable. One of them being is the fight between him and Ochiko? I forgot. I don't know how to say her name. Ochiko? We'll just say Ochiko. And their fight, and he does not underestimate her. He's like, okay, like, I actually gotta really, really try hard. And people view him as like, everybody in the arena is like, oh, you're horrible for beating up a girl like that. But in his mind, it's like, okay, these people may view me as a villain, but it's like, this girl is competent, and I gotta do everything I can to decimate her. Uraraka. We'll just call her Uraraka. It's crazy how Uraraka just gets rocked, but she at least tried. But also, knowing in the back of his head is like, okay, I respect this person, you have my respect. And then having that kind of reverse situation near the end after Shoto beats Deku. And, sorry, my brother looked in through the door. But, having that moment with Shoto and Bakugo where it's like, okay, you gave Deku the respect. How come you didn't give that respect to me? And for me, the way that it came off at first, it's like, it's an arrogant thing. How come you didn't give me the respect of blah, 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 blah? But it's more like, no. It's more like, it's a form of self-respect and a respect towards warriors. It felt like it was disrespectful for the both of them. Like, how come you only did it halfway from me when I know you can do better? Because in a way, he respects Shoto in a way to where it's hard to explain. It's hard to explain as a person that wasn't like that. Another thing in that season where he's actually paying attention to the different opponents in there and trying to study everybody that he fights later on in the arc. And then, of course, the other events that happen where he's actually working alongside people, it's not too bad. He's picked the best quirks he can work with and see what he can do there. And just see this kid who actually is more than just anger and explosions, which is interesting to me, because it's like, at surface level, people will not like this character. But if you actually take the time to take a look at him, even within this season, it's like, oh my gosh, this is actually really good. I like what they're doing. I don't like him being arrogant, but yet he's a very intelligent young man who's very capable. And so what happens when he's put in a situation where he actually ultimately loses? How does he handle that? And it's poorly. And it makes too much sense. So we go to season 3, and they're getting ready to go meet their mentors and get ready to go learn under them. And he goes to Best Genus. Or is it Blue Genus? I think it's Best Genus. I can't remember the name of the guy. And he just spends time with him. He had combing his hair and not liking it, wearing jeans and walking around and trying to keep up with everybody. And of course, Izuku meeting Gran Torino for the first time, All Might's old mentor, and And then once we get to near the end, where we have Bakugo get taken away by the villain group that's led by he's in a situation where he knows he could die at any point. And this is another thing that I enjoy. It's like he puts on a face to say like, hey, yeah, I'm not afraid of you guys. It's pathetic that you did this. And if I broke out of here, I would break y'all to smithereens. I would mess you up. Trying to put on a face instead of show that he's like scared. And so eventually, of course, down the line, we go towards the fight between All For One and All Might. And the aftermath of that fight. And we see Bakugo almost just feel guilt the entirety of the time. And season 4 kind of goes more into that, if I remember correctly. I haven't read the manga, by the way. I don't, because right now I'm already reading one manga, and I just recently finished Skypiea. And I will say this much, not to just over-promote another, do expect something in the near future. I'm going to at least say that. And so, like I said, I haven't read the My Hero manga. It might be really good. I don't know. I'm planning on... I'll say this much. If I can get through the next 200 chapters in One Piece, I might go take a look at the My Hero manga. I might. We'll see. And we just see this character start doubting himself, still feel bad that he's kind of not, at that point, but he's also kind of rebuilding or building a better relationship with Deku little by little. And we have this moment where they have a fight with each other, where they're trying to test their skills, and Bakugo, of course, ultimately wins the fight, but still Deku puts up a great offense, but still loses at the end of the day. And they have this conversation where it's like, okay, now it makes too much sense why he acts like this. He's trying to hide his insecurities. He's trying to hide all these different things to try to look like a strong hero, when he just ultimately starts breaking down in front of Deku, where he's like, no, he's still a kid. No matter how much he puts up a face, he's still a kid. He's still having all the weight and everything. And that is one of the things that I truly connected with, because it's like, I felt that before. I felt that before in my teenage years. Like, what am I supposed to do now? What am I supposed to do? I don't have anything for my life. What do I do? And so that also brings us to our next question. Why do people actually like this character? Because this character that is growing slowly is becoming more and more aware of what he is. You see, with an arrogant character, people tend to be very, very, resistant to it. Not like it. A lot of people like it. Let me give you an example. In real life, nobody likes Logan Paul. Nobody likes Andrew Tate. Nobody likes all these different people who show off their arrogant side. But you want to know why they do that? Because they're insecure. They're very insecure. And recently, and I'll bring up the Logan Paul example again. Recently, he can't even handle a dang joke about him messing up in Japan. He had to walk off set because they kept on making jokes about her. Now, mind you, I feel like it was a little inappropriate, but it's like, this goes to show you the kind of person that Logan Paul is. He's an arrogant and very insecure person, alongside his brother. And so having that as an example, like, imagine having someone like Logan Paul actually go through something like that, actually have that moment of humility, which you'd think after all this time he would, but people are going to be people, and so we'll be as well, because we are people too. You'd think he would have something similar happen, but no, sometimes it's slower for some because they've been so stuck in that. And having someone like Bakugo experienced this early in his teen years is just wild to think about. It's such a wild thing to think about because it's rare to see, and people getting to see him become this character where it's like, okay, he slowly starts actually making friends and sticking around people and making real lifetime friendships, especially when it comes to Kirishima, who is like, I'm not gonna lie, he's a really likable character. He's sick. He is a cool, awesome character who is like, he's the dude, bro, you want in your corner. Like, hey, bro, go be a man and let's go do this. But not in the way where, like, you do stupid stuff, but it's more like, hey, I know you can do this. I know you're better than this. And you have these moments with Kirishima and Bakugo that are great. And he's like, and the fact that they keep calling him out, he keeps calling him out for his crap. It's like, and he's not too scared. It's like, I kind of don't care that you can hurt me, man. I can keep up with you pretty well. Maybe not to power-wise, but at least, you know, defensive-wise. And so, it's interesting to me. You see this kid who eventually, which, okay, I'm going to, spoilers ahead. For those who have not watched the ending of My Hero, which is wild to even talk about, because literally it's been a 78-year journey since it's been made. Like, I was like 17 at the time when it started, and now it's over. It's 8 years, actually. I'm 25 right now. It's been 8 years. 8 stinking years. I think it's actually been out longer than that, but at least I'll say 8. But the fact that it's been around for this long and we've had this great story play out to eventually see him, unfortunately, die fighting All For One is wild. But the first act he commits before fighting All For One and getting All Might out of there, it shows you, okay, my job is not just to attack. My job is to protect people. My job is to save people. My job is to get them out of there and help them. And see that rather not just be said, but through actions. And so, to be given another chance to be revived by these two people, by the Blue Genius, by this other guy, I don't know his name, but his ability, like, he has a weird ability. And I saw an anime clip of it, and I haven't finished it yet. I've been spoiled, I know. My friends will ultimately tell you, like, this guy gets spoiled so much on so much of everything. It's crazy. And heck, I've been spoiled, like, on a lot of One Piece as well, but I still enjoy the journey of it as well. So whenever I get to that point, I know I'm gonna probably still enjoy it and act like, oh, this is the first time I'm watching this, you know, reading it. And that brings us to our last question. What do I like to see for this character? Honestly, I like to see him as a young adult. I want to see the challenges of being a young adult hero. I want to see not a Spider-Man-esque way of thinking or writing. I want to see how he struggles to go from being at UA to being an adult. Because it's literally, I believe it's like 2 years or so after. I forgot how long. But you see the prologue, and you see everybody from Class 1A in this picture, in this like mural of all of them as adults or young adults. I want to see the struggles of a young adult. I want to see the struggles of being a young hero and trying to keep up with the new generation of crime, and then also confront more issues, have new issues for Bakugo to deal with as a young adult. Because personally, for me, I know a lot of the time identity can be a problem, and I don't know, personally, in my beliefs, my identity is in Jesus Christ, my identity will always be in Jesus Christ, and finding out my individual value as well in Jesus Christ is the most important thing to me. And I still struggle with that sometimes. Even though I try to embody this aspect that I want so much, I still struggle with that. It's hard sometimes to want to admit that, and to see that in another character, to see that part in someone else's life is amazing. And that's why a lot of people intend to enjoy Spider-Man as a young adult, because you don't have it all together. You don't have everything together. You don't have a wife and kids by the time you're 25. I don't. I know a lot of people don't. So my question here is, what does a young adult Bakugo look like? What does he hope for? What does he want as a hero? And most importantly, what is the legacy he wants to leave behind? Because ultimately, if he wants to be like his hero All Might, he's gotta want to leave a legacy, leave something behind before he leaves this earthly coil. As I was writing this script, I realized how much Bakugo has really changed as a character. And I never imagined what he turned into. He's not perfect. He's still kind of brash and kind of mean, but he's just... I never imagined him working with Deku. I never imagined him actually being this character of humility at certain points, to finally start learning how to move on from who he was. And it's still a slow burn. To be honest, it reminds me of a modern day Piccolo with some hints of Vegeta there, because due to there's still some of that brashness and arrogance throughout his growth. And I believe the future of the My Hero Academia universe will continue to grow through his character, through, of course, the other characters as well, but also those people he will influence in the future story, if we get any more. Even with his rough edges, his part of the story coinciding with Deku's and many other characters makes it so important. His insecurities as that type of person are challenged and drawn out by his rival and his classmates, pushing him forward to be a better hero and a better person for everybody else to look up to. To be honest with y'all, I didn't expect to be talking that long about this character. He drove out a lot more than I thought, which is good. I'm happy we got to discuss this today. I know it might seem a little unusual to be talking about another a non-main character in the series, but honestly, a main character is often defined by the people that he's around that influence him, whether it is a rival, whether it is a friend, a loved one, a spouse, whatever it may be. And Deku has certainly had an effect on Bakugo, of course, and many of their classmates as well. And heck, I'd even say Bakugo's had an effect on Deku. And I'm definitely will be taking a look at more My Hero Academia characters as we go along. And eventually, I do want to do a video on Kirishma. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed the discussion, excuse me. And if you did, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more future uploads. You know, the usual YouTuber shtick. And I will see you guys later. I'm out. Peace.